What's up, guys? Sandy Cater and James Winterburn here with Team EXT. Say what's up, James.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And today we have an exciting deck profile. You're probably seen me on the Facebook page hyping this deck up because it is absolutely ridiculous. You've all been asking me for the list, and so here it is. Scuffle Time Dende. When I first heard about the deck, from James, I was like, okay, what is this? What is this jank? Like, I'm not gonna play it. And then I played against James, and he went off on me. I was playing Kigoku, and I just did not have fun. So I picked the deck up myself. I had a turn 2 win, which I actually recorded, and then I was like, okay, we can do something with this. We can make this deck consistent to kill on turn 2, and that's what we did. That's where we went from there. So James, where did you find this list? And like,
So,
yeah, just
I quite like trolling through Facebook and YouTube, just looking at what people are doing and brewing. And the Pop channel had a really interesting Vegito list that used part of the Scuffle Time package with this leader. It caught my attention. It caught the attention of some of the 3XG Squad fan guys, and we were chatting about it, and we came up with a way to kind of add the Bulma package to it, and get rid of some of the Vegeta stuff to make it far more aggressive and kind of operate it a little bit like Shenlong Storm.
and that was did you just shout out the Senzu Pop guys?
Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was
Yes.
just trying to find the other guy I want to shout out on Facebook. Apparently, he also had some sort of part in like Scuffle Time or whatever. He keeps getting tagged in my Facebook posts. So Jose Galanzoga, I probably just butchered your name. If you're watching, thank you, because this deck is ridiculous. It is the absolute nuts. Um, so yeah, I guess we're just gonna go straight into the deck profile. James? Should we read it left to right, or should we just focus on the packages first? Like focus on.
Um, Honestly, I think we should just talk about the bread and butter packages, the Scuffle Time package, and then obviously the Bulma package first, and then we'll talk around how we built around that.
Okay. So we're gonna start off with the leader. We're running Blue Dende. We recently made a video just dogging on AOD Dende, but this leader is actually really sick. So Dende is a burst 2 wish leader deck. So you rest him, you take the top 2 cards from your deck, put them in the drop area, and you search your deck or life for 2 Dragon Balls. And then his wish, when he awakens, you grab a desire card from your drop area, you add it to your hand. And then on the other side, the Son Goku side, his activate main is once per turn. His first effect is draw a card. You can choose the second effect, which is use a desire card for free. A desire card that has the same cost equal to the amount of energy you have. And then the last desire, which is really what I'm never using the other desires. I'm always using the ultimate right away. There are given situations where that's not happening, but the final activate main is remove all 7 Dragon Balls from the game, draw 2 cards and untap 2 of your blue energy, and then at the end of the turn flip this leader card over. So, yep, that's him. And we'll go into the bread and butter of the deck, the main package, which is the Scuffle Time package. You got the 1-drop Mr. Boo. He's a 1-drop 5k barrier. He's got an activate main, which I'll rarely ever use. There are some situations where it can be useful, but his activate main is I've actually got to pull it up because I rarely ever read it. And I don't
It's
want.
if you've got the Scuffle Time Son Goten in play in your battle area, you
Yeah.
can put the Boo on the bottom.
And then it bounces a battle card back to hand. One of your
That's
opponent's
right.
battle cards back to hand. And then the card he's coupled with is Scuffle Time Son Goten. This is a 2-drop 10k. Choose one. Its activate main is choose one card from your life, add it to your hand. If Scuffle Time Boo is in play in your battle area, choose this card and up to 1 of your energy, switch to active mode, and this card gains plus 10,000 for the duration of the turn. So it's a 2-cost 10k and a 20k swing. You untap an energy and you net a card from life. So the card itself is very aggressive. And then the card that actually breaks that package is Fount of Spirit, which we're running at 4. It's a desire card. If your leader card is a blue Shenron card, choose 1 blue Saiyan card in your drop area with 15,000 or less power and energy cost 2 or less and play it. If you do, place the top card from your deck under the card you played with this skill. So it essentially makes Goten free, which is insane. Yeah, the only thing risky about it is placing the top card from the top of your deck in underneath the Goten, because if you're not awakened yet, which hopefully you will be because of one of the other cards we've run, you risk putting a Dragon Ball underneath. It's never happened. It's never happened to me in testing, but if worst comes to worst, you just combo that card out.
Yeah, I was going to say there's lots of occasions where you could get really unlucky and put something quite valuable underneath, but like Sandy said, it's a very easy solution. You can just combo the card through, get the card you need in the drop area, and then rinse and repeat. We've got plenty of cards that allow you to take multiple lines of play to optimize the deck.
So the next card that we'll focus on Fountain of Spirit as well right now. The next card is Great Saiyaman, Hero of Justice. I'm going to say this now, pick these up, because this is really what breaks the deck. Like it enables the turn 2 kill so much more consistently. So when you play this card, if your leader card is a blue Shenron card, choose up to 2 Dragon Balls from your deck, add them to your hand, and then choose 1 card from your hand, place in the drop area. This is a Fountain of Spirit target, so it can be played on turn 1. I have gotten a turn 1 Awaken just because I opened the nuts. You're mainly doing it on 2 just to get the last 2 Dragon Balls out of your deck. Yeah.
It's just good. Like it's another 10k swing. It puts you closer to Awakening. It's that additional beam that you can beam onto it to untap the energy again. You don't really neg anything when you play it off Fountain of Spirit. And it just makes everything happen a turn earlier.
Yeah, and I'm running that at 3. James, I know you've just started testing this build, so I've had people ask me why not run it at 4 if it's so necessary. But to me, it's like you're going to burst 2, you're going to take 2 Dragon Balls out of your deck or your life or whatever, and then you're going to draw 2, and the odds of you finding a Saiyaman or getting a Saiyaman in the drop by turn 2 is quite high when you're running it at 3. So I figured just leave it at 3 and keep some space in for the rest of the deck.
Yeah, the chances of hitting it because of how far you dig with the deck is really, really high. It's not like it has to be the first play you do on your turn 2 either. As long as you know through your sequencing at some point you are going to have the energy open to hit it, potentially with the Bulma Burst as well, and Awaken, and then use the ultimate to untap 2 and carry on your chain. It's all good. Like, it doesn't need to be at 4.
No. And then the next package we'll talk about is the Child's Wish package. This is pretty much taken straight from Super Shenron. I think this is the package that everyone is really... This is what everyone is talking about right now. Child's Wish and Bulma. We're running 4 of each, mainly because Bulma and Child's Wish is excellent for filtering the deck, and Bulma in particular is very good because Goten is a 10k and a 20k. So she is almost always combo fodder from your board just to make Goten an equal 15 or 25 against an Awakened leader. And then there are a couple of things like if you know you're going to play Amira and you know you can get the kill with Amira, you can burst, you can do the burst, but you're almost never doing it just because of how much the deck draws. There's also 2 Preface of Recovery Son Gokus. Those are there for the untap in case you don't find the Bulma, or like it's just a free target with Child's Wish. And then it's a barrier with it's a barrier beater with 15k, which can be very useful in some matchups. Next up, we've got Crisis Crusher. This card is super necessary because there are a few cards that slow this deck down. A turn 1 Crisis Crusher doesn't stop the turn 2 kill, and it does stop the cards that slow you down. We'll go into those at the end of the video. So it is a necessary card to have in the deck, and it is something that you might want to consider adding more into the sideboard. The end game cards are 1 Mirror, 1 Fu. I found these numbers to be alright. I almost always want to go into Mirror because you will almost always have a massive drop. But there are some situations where you only have 1 energy and your opponent has 2 life, and you want to try and kill him with Double Strike. And Fu's good for the draw as well, so I don't have an issue running 1 of each. I always find 1 of the 2, and I almost always never have an issue going for game with Fu. Next, we have 2 Double Strike Hidden Power E Supreme Kais. These are also endgame cards. You combo in with Mirror for Double Strike, or what James and I like to do is take them down from 3 to 1 with like a Goten swing or something, so they can't rely on that Sparking Negate for the Mirror kill. So yeah, that's very good. And then we have finally 1 Unyielding Spirit Trunks. That's just for the untap. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, we're playing a blue leader that's very aggressive. It's a necessary evil. It's a free 5k and you untap and it lets you carry on. Like, there's no reason you wouldn't play it.
And yeah, it's very good as well, because like if you don't sequence properly and you end up finding yourself needing to tap out, but you want to continue your turn, if you have that in hand, you can untap an energy and then just continue on with like Senzu Beans and stuff. So it's very good in a lot of situations. And then just the last cards in the deck, 3 Dragon Radar. This is just to recycle Fount of Spirit and Child's Wish, mainly Child's Wish, because you just want to keep playing those Bulmas and comboing those Bulmas as much as possible. And 4 Senzu Bean just for the untap, because you will, like, most of the times when go for game on turn 2, that's not a lot of energy, so you need to keep untapping that energy.
Yeah, and you can get a lot of value from the Senzu Bean as well as untapping because of the nature of the deck. And Scuffle Time, some Goten, being able to attack twice when you beam the Goten, you've already given him plus 5k for 2 swings, which is just difficult for your opponent to deal with because you're already 2 for 1ing them if they want to protect cards. Protect their life, sorry.
Yeah. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on this deck, James?
I think, in a sense, it's very similar to Shenron Storm, but it feels faster, more aggressive. It's very linear, and it does have stuff that beats it, but because it wins on turn 2 so consistently, basically your opponent has 1 turn to set up to try and stop you.
Yeah, and that's I was Mark Hill had commented on the guy that does DBS decks and stuff. He commented on my post. It's like, oh, it just looks like another Super Shenron deck. I was like, oh wait, it's kind of like a mix between Hirudegarn Storm and Super Shenron. So it's kind of ridiculous and it's extremely aggressive.
I mean, we really like it. It's up for you guys to try the deck out, see what you think. There is variations that we've run through that run a yellow package, which gives you Battering Laser and Nimbus if you want it. But we found that it slows down the turn 2 because you've got unnecessary yellow extra cards, which could be combo power.
Yeah, and that's the main reason. Like when you played it against me, you were playing blue yellow, and when I picked it up, I started playing blue yellow. And when I did my turn 2 kill video, I ended up with like 2 bad rings and a Nimbus in hand with 2 blue energy when I was going for a game, and it just didn't feel right, which is why I went with mono blue and tried to make the turn 2 kill more consistent. And it feels right. Like you can side in a couple of the cards that you need for certain matchups, but I think mono blue is sort of the right build at the moment, especially if you want to be getting turn two kills. And then I think just a couple of things I do want to go over just to close out the video and talk about some things in the deck. I've been asked by a couple people who've like seen the deck or whatever if I'd run the Go Tank super combo over the Saiyaman super combo. I mean, I'm not sure why, but the answer would be no, because Great Saiyaman is actually a Fountain Spirit target, and there will be lines of play where you can Fountain Spirit him in, and you can use him as a 15k beat stick and swing with him, which catches a lot of people off guard because they'll try and cold bloodlust your Fountain Spirit, and then you'll just play Great Saiyaman and be like, oh, okay, that kind of sucks. And then just finally the cards that hurt the deck, and a couple of things like people will always say with this deck or with the deck they don't think is actually meta, there are cards that hurt this deck. Yes, there are cards that hurt this deck. Whis, Borgos, Veku, they hurt the deck. They slow it down by 1 turn. You only need 2 energy, so once you get to 3, as long as they only have 1 on board, you're good to untap as much as you want. You got Black Mass Saiyan because you're Child's Wishing in and Fountain Spiriting in so much. That hurts, but it's not as bad as you would think. And then Striving to be the best, Nimbus and Tien are probably the worst cards to have played against you because Striving doesn't let your Gotens attack. Gotens are really what you're using to get the kill. Nimbus, because we have no bad ring, so it essentially kills our turn 2 kill turn. But that's kind of okay as well, as long as we don't get hit back on the following turn. And then Tien, not being able to untap sucks, and it won't allow you to do what you want to do with the deck, but you just pass. And the thing with this deck is they need to find those answers very, very, very fast. They need to find them on the first turn if you're on the play, or their second turn if they're on the play. So they need to have those answers. If they don't have those answers, they have a very high chance of just dying on turn 2. So
yeah, one of the things that with this deck is, okay, so if someone basically makes you miss a turn and you have to wait from 2 to 3, we don't really mind. It just gives us an extra energy to play with and sequence and go at you again. It is linear. So if someone TNs you on 1, Battering or Cold Bloodlust you on 2, and then Nimbus you on 3, and then they get to untap with 4 energy, sometimes you've just got to accept the fact that they've seen all the answers, turn around and go to game 2.
Yeah, definitely. And there are answers to Striving, there are answers to these cards, and there are ways to play around them. You just got to get used to the deck. And finally, I don't have any footage of this build, unfortunately. I would have liked to have tacked that on. But on the Facebook group, I have uploaded a couple of like pictures, so I'm just going to show those to show what the deck can really do. This is James. I've just pulled up the pictures on Facebook. It's the first one where I'm going for game with Fu.
Yeah,
you got it up.
We've got it.
Yeah. So this is turn 2. I've got all 4 Gotens on board. I've got a Great Saiyaman on board, and I'm going for game with a Scientist Fu on turn 2. Like, the deck is absolutely insane. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about it from this point.
I think the biggest point to make is this is not Sandy having the nuts. This is
consistent.
Every single game.
This is consistent. Like, I am constantly closing out games at 2 energy, and if they've played a card that slows me down, I'm then closing the game out on 3 energy. Here's another picture where I'm going for game with Mira, once again, on turn 2. As you can notice, this is turn 2. I have 5 cards in deck. 5. I've drawn through and cycled through my entire deck. I've got 2 Bulmos on board, which I've swung with. I've got 2 Gotens, and I'm going for game with 145,000 Mira. Like, so the deck is just absolutely insane, and it does work. And I'm excited to see if it does well in like a competitive environment, especially now that people are learning about the deck. Like, it'll be good to see, and I'll be excited to play it in like a best of 3 format and things like that. All right, James. I'm gonna finish it up. You got any closing thoughts?
No, I think like just guys take the deck with a pinch of salt, give it a run through, realize that there's a lot of lines and it needs a lot of testing before you make a decision about it, and just take it to some locals and have some fun with it and make your own mind up whether you think it's competitive or not.
Yep. All right. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. It's been the deck profile has been a bit rushed. I wasn't planning on doing it, being as I'm in Portugal at the moment. But we hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you get to play it. Let us know what you think, and subscribe to us, because we're going to continue making more content for the channel. So thanks again, and see ya.